Hey everybody, it's me, John Anthony Chihak Soltero. I am the anti-hero, and I am here not so fresh off of the 32nd annual Tucson Toy Show. Came home, crashed out for a couple hours, woke up, made a really big batch of hatch green chili salsa, which I just tasted, and it's delicious as usual. But wanted to give you a recap of the Tucson Toy Show. It was a lot of fun. It was my second year tabling there. Had a really good year sales-wise. But it was also cool because I have made some new friends and I've met some new people and the community here is really, really cool. But excuse me. So for those of you around the country, you know, today, the 8th, was daylight savings time. So you had to roll back roll your clocks forward. And so a funny thing happened. It happened to quite a few people from what I ascertained talking to people at the con. I set my alarm for 5:30 so that I would wake up. I would have plenty of time. I could, kind of have a slow breakfast and get down there. I'd be in time for the early bird opening at 7. Now, for whatever reason, my phone didn't jump, or I'm in Arizona. We don't change times at all. But for some reason, it acted as if we did. So it jumped everything up an hour on my phone, on a couple of other people's phones. I wake up to my 5:30 alarm, but it's actually 4:30. So by the time I get down to the Tucson Expo Center, it's about 5:15. And I'm like, this isn't right. Like, it's dark outside. It's like really dark outside. Everybody's standing around here waiting. We waited in line for like 45 minutes because they're like, we're not going to open till 6. I'm like, what are you talking about? Look at our phones. Somebody had restarted their phone and it kicked the hour out. So came back at 5:30. Just a funny way to start the day. Almost would have thought like, this would have just made it worse, but it actually just made it funny and we're laughing and stuff like that. So I had a lot of fun at the show, I got to say. The show started out really cool yesterday during setup because when me and my table buddy, Kaylee, went on a break after setting everything up, we ended up going to Denny's. And when we went to Denny's, like, the cash register function on my phone went off for PayPal because somebody bought something on eBay that's been on there for a really long time. So long that I never initially signed it and I never initially dated it. I think it's from 2015 when I put this together. This 2-card MST3K piece with Crow, Tom Servo, and Gypsy. Almost don't want to get rid of this, but at the same time, the spirit of everything that I'm doing is I'm trying to push my artwork. I'm trying to make more money and be more lucrative. And that was a cool way to start things out. Last night, I was on one of the collector forums on Facebook. There's a guy who collects Velma from Scooby-Doo stuff, collects artwork and stuff like that, and he posted a sketch cover he had just gotten. And it was a really cool looking sketch cover, and I knew I had a line art Velma sketch cover. And I was just like, I think I have something for you. And he was like, all right, what is it? Took a picture of it, sent it to him, and he was just like, I need this. So I'm still going to color this, and then sending it out to him tomorrow or Tuesday. The Scooby Apocalypse #1 blank cover with a sexy Velma holding Scooby's collar and dog tags. The purchase of this by that guy paid for my table for the weekend. So Sunday starts out and it's golden, I got a stack of books here, really good deal, comic books, and one that I picked up from Tony Corona of Collectors, from the Collectors Territory last night. This is the Art Germ variant, the Batman the Animated Series Catwoman. Super, super excited to have this because I love the Batman the Animated Series, and I think Art Germ did a phenomenal job. I don't really collect Art Germ variants. I don't really chase after variants at all. But it was just a cool cover, and it was the right price. And not only did I buy it, pick it up last night, but I paid for it today when I was leaving the convention. So there was 2 sets of people that I bought comics from today. One I got yesterday, and I put them together because I wanted them numbered right and stuff. But there was guys selling comics for 25 cents a piece, and there was some good stuff in there. And another guy selling comics for $1 a piece. His daughter was super cute. She kept coming up to our table because I had a couple of figures that she really, really wanted. But each time she came up, she told us about like different figures that she had already purchased and how much she likes these like powerful female characters and stuff. And so even though she didn't buy anything from me, it was super cool to hear the progression of her weekend and how much like these characters mean to her, because we need more young people getting into this hobby of like, toys and comics and you know, girls getting into it, because it's not just for like guys anymore. It definitely isn't. So it was really cool to see that over the weekend. But I'm going to go over some of the comics, and then I got some toys that I picked up too. Not like super huge ticket items, but just some cool stuff. So some of these are books that I had back in the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff when I first really started collecting, and I was buying like, I don't even know how many books I was buying. And let me look at what the cover price of this was. This was a giant size special, and it was $3. So it was $1 less than what comics normally sell for now, and I was making way less money. So I don't know how I afforded any of this stuff. The giant size special, X-Men number 70. This is when you were introducing the characters Maggot and Dr. Reyes. And I love these characters because you also had these like superstar artists like Joe Mad and Carlos Pacheco working on stuff. It was like a completely different direction. It was very, very different. And it was a lot of fun at the time. Like the characters didn't stick, and I don't even know if they're still around or not. But just a lot of fun. And, you know, for $1 going down memory lane is a really, really big thing for me. I found this in the 25-cent bin. I know. It's called The Collected Adventures of the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. And I don't know what issue this is. My friend Christian Rocco was telling me this is an older print, but like it's still a really, really cool book. This is definitely one of those like underground type comics. I mean, it's a reader copy. It's beat up, but it was just like really, really cool. And I was just like, there's no way I'm not doing this. So this is like the run of Uncanny X-Men that I picked up this weekend. I got 245, which is probably, I don't know if this is the second appearance of Jubilee, but this is during the Australian saga where they were in the outback and they were getting back from the mall. I think this might even be at the mall. 246 with Master Mold. 251, and this is just such a beautiful cover. This was a 25-cent book, and how could I not get this for 25 cents? This great Jim Lee cover, 274. This is 325 anniversary issue. This is some phenomenal Joe Mad stuff. 345. I think this might have been the first appearance of Maggot, so it's right alongside with that giant size number 70 issue. And then 378, and that was the last of the X-Men runs. I got a one-shot from that was written by John Wagner. Boba Fett Bounty on Barracuda, back from when Dark Horse was doing the Star Wars books, and this is from the Expanded Universe, of course. Marvel 2-in-1 Thing and Spider-Man number 17. You know, just getting some of these like Bronze Age books is really cool. Seeing some of the artwork and just some of the like the cover logos and stuff like that is always really, really neat. Marvel Team Up featuring Spider-Man and Black Widow 57. They're going up against Samurai. The Silver Samurai at that. That's kind of cool. So this is kind of goofy, I guess, but I got not one, but 2 copies of Thunderstrike #1. Why did I get 2 copies of Thunderstrike #1? Because one of these copies is signed by Richard Friends, and looks like it has a certificate of authenticity from the event. Cap 383. It's just kind of an iconic cover as well. I love this cover. This is an Art Adams cover. Maybe not as typical style for nowadays, and a pretty basic cover when you think about it. Fantastic Four 348 with the new Fantastic Four, which is kind of cool. Couple anniversary issues. Avengers 360 with the embossed, oh, that's kind of a cool effect right there. With the embossed foil Vision cover. And then speaking of embossed foil covers, West Coast Avengers number 100 with Mephisto on the cover. I don't know. That's just kind of cool. Some Incredible Hulk books I got. 362 with this cool Kevin Nolan cover. 372. It's just a nice, well-designed cover. I love this cover, and a lot of these were 25 cents, so I couldn't say no. Even I don't remember if I have these or not, but Dale Keown, just I love the way he drew Hulk. Hulk versus Santa. Because you demanded it. While this is not my favorite incarnation of Hulk, how can you not love this cover where you see Hulk in the eyes of Man-Thing? Because we all know Man-Thing is superior to Swamp Thing. I'll fight you on that one. I will. Second print of Hulk 383, the gray cover. The homage to the very, very first Incredible Hulk number 1, all the way back from, was it 62, 63, I think? And then this one popped out to me. This is the story where Hulk had a friend who was dying of AIDS. It is the Incredible Hulk number 420. This gentleman was dying. Asked Bruce Banner, asked Hulk. I think he was Professor Hulk at this point, so he didn't switch. Asked him for a blood transfusion to save his life. And Hulk has to make this impossible choice of, do I do this to save my friend, but at the same time I doom him to being me. I mean, this already happened with my cousin, and look what happened to her. Just the imagery on this cover is beautiful. In the shadow underneath it, it says the Incredible Hulk in the shadow of AIDS. Like, I mean, this was from the 90s, but this is a pointed moment, I think, in comic book history. To go on to something a little less morose and serious. Batman and Dracula, the graphic novel, Red Rain. Got this for $1, yo. And this is from the table with the little girl who kept coming up and talking to me about her action figures that she picked up. So good on them. I hope they had a really, really good show as well. Rise of the Midnight Suns, Ghost Rider and Blaze, the Spirits of Vengeance. Why did I buy 2 of these? Well, they both appear polybagged, but this one has the poster in it. This one does not. So this one had the poster taken out, and this one still has it. So it's a Johnny Blaze poster on the back. I need to find out who I'm by. This is Spirits of Vengeance number 3. This is an Adam Kubert cover. This is freaking amazing. But you can see the autograph up here. I'm going to need to figure out who that is. The silver Sharpie looks pretty sweet when you roll it through the light. But just that cover, it's very minimalist, but at the same time, like, dragging him by his chain. And for whatever reason, I thought that this was Venom. The way I remembered it, I thought it was Venom who was doing this, and it's not. Like, this is one of Lilith's kids who's just, like, jacked up Blaze and Ghost Rider. And then this is the biggest find for me this weekend. Actually, second biggest find this weekend, because it's been on my want list for a while. I own this a while back. I love the cover artwork. I found it for $1, and I couldn't say no. Ghost Rider and Blaze, Spirits of Venom, number 6. Spirits of Vengeance, number 6. But look at that Adam Kubert cover. Hanging upside down in a sewer, not unlike a xenomorph holding on to Ghost Rider's severed skull with the chain. Like, that is beautiful. I didn't remember that this was an Adam Kubert cover until I found it today and looked at it. I think I got this at the grocery store when I was a kid, and it was in like a 3-pack or something like that. And it was number 6. It's not like it was part of a cohesive story for me, but it was really, really sweet. My buddy Eric Frachin buys toys by lots, and he knows I love this obscure character, and he's had it for a while, but he kept forgetting to give it to me, and then he lost it, and then he found it sitting right where they set their keys in the morning. So it fit. I got my Howard the Duck from the Marvel Legends Silver Surfer action figure, and sitting right over here is Man-Thing. This is the Man-Thing Build-A-Figure from the Netflix figures, and the Howard the Duck. I mean, look at the size difference, but that's about right for these characters. So I'm super stoked to have this. I also picked up the Harley Quinn DC Classics Universe figure. It was loose. It did come with the hammer, and uh-oh. Had the gun. We'll find it. Oh, here it is. Little pop gun. This is really well detailed for a 6-inch figure. I mean, look at that. You got the string. You got the rivets holding the grip in place. The hammer. Like, I mean, it's all done really, really well for a 6-inch scale figure. This is a McDonald's toy, and I think it's a squirt toy. R2-D2. I used to call Gerber D2. So I was thinking I would maybe take this to work, or look at getting an R2-D2 toy that I could mod and like take the head off of it, and then get like a little dog head that I can modify to look like Gurry, and like put it on there, and then hollow out a portion of the D2 head and then plug it on top so she could cosplay as R2-D2. I saw this last minute. I had seen the R2-D2 before, but this made me go back and get the R2-D2. So each of the 3 Bubbas, Sabu, Gurry, and Foley, claimed an Ewok name. Sabu was Wicket, Gurry was Chief Chirpa, and this is Logray, complete. Foley was Logray. He still calls himself Logray. We're still trying to figure out who Grayson is, but Foley was always Logray. And I'm not one of those people who like believes in signs or things happening, or there being like a lot of cosmic balance or anything like that. But finding this weekend was pretty cool. So I had a tremendous week. Hope you guys had a tremendous weekend as well. The 32nd annual Tucson Toy Show for the Arizona Toy Shows is over for 2020. And I will be back in 2020. Stay anti-hero strong. See you soon.